Welcome to the Kingsford Flivver Flash. I'm Coach Van Dusen. This is Season 20, Episode 25, On Again, Off Again, Knights. Well, welcome back to the Kingsford Flivver Flash. Thank you for logging in if you're watching on YouTube or if you are listening on your podcast app of choice. We were behind a few episodes on the podcast part of it. We've been uploading pretty regular on YouTube, but we got caught up today. So if you are a podcast listener, you should be able to find it on your favorite podcasting app. But we are here to talk about week 2 of the 2020 season. And 2020 has been absolutely bizarre. I don't think anybody will argue that fact. So we're going to get right into it because we had a lot of kind of crazy things happen. And we're going to talk about it right now. So first off, we have the week 2, what was supposed to happen. Okay, so what was supposed to happen is the freshmen were supposed to travel to Escanaba, and JVs were supposed to host Escanaba on Thursday night, and then the varsity was supposed to go to Escanaba and play. However, that did not happen. The freshmen and the JVs canceled pretty early, I think Monday or Tuesday, and the varsity did not cancel until, I believe it was Thursday. So with that, the freshmen had a potential game with Charlevoix. However, logistically, that didn't work out. Putting freshmen on a bus for 5 hours one way on a school night, that wasn't going to work out too well. And then actually on Twitter, we got tweeted at on our Twitter handle for football that said, hey, Omero is looking for a game. Omero is a Wisconsin school down kind of by Oshkosh, and they were going to play our freshmen and our varsity on Saturday. However, that did not pan out. So the freshmen and the JVs ended up not having a game. We were both kind of up in the air. We had practice. We had one day of lifting for both of us. We practiced together one day just because we weren't sure if we were going to have a game or not. But it turns out we did not have a game. However, our varsity team was able to scrape up a game on Friday, and they were able to play the Norway Knights. Now, they haven't played Norway since 1989, but Norway was good enough to come to Flivver Field. Kickoff was at noon, and it was pretty much dominated the entire game by the Flivvers. The Knights did have a few good plays, especially on defense. They had some really good plays, but the Flivvers were able to hand them a loss. Now, Kingsford moves to 2-0. I'm not exactly sure how it works with the playoff points. Because Escanaba would have forfeited that game, giving us playoff points. However, because we decided to play, I think we forfeited those playoff points, but we still came away with the win. And we're very grateful that Norway was willing to come play us. And it was a gorgeous day. The sun was out. It was kind of cool, but the stands had Knights fans and Flivver fans in it. And even though it's limited fans, that's what high school football is all about, is putting people in the stands to watch these young athletes play. So I have a little history. The Flivvers and the Norway Knights, they played every year from 1926 until 1989, and they haven't played since. So the Flivvers played Calumet this year for the first time since 1983, and then they played, or maybe it's 82, I'll have to go back an episode and look, and they played the Norway Knights for the first time since 1989. And with that, the Flivvers have won 32 games, they've lost 26, and there has been 7 ties between these two programs. I'm going to go through those real quick because it's kind of interesting. In 1931, they tied at 7 each. 1932 and 1934 were both 0-0 ties, which is crazy to think about. But actually, that just happened this weekend. Houghton and Hancock ended up playing each other this past Friday, and partway through the fourth quarter, the game got canceled due to lightning, and the score was 0-0. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. 1939 was a tie, 6-6. 1948, another 0-0 tie between Norway and Kingsford. And then in 1952 was a 6-6 tie, and 1978 was an 8-8 tie. So just pretty interesting stuff with the ties. You don't see that very often, especially 0-0. So really defensive battles between those two programs. All right, so week 3, as it stands right now, it is Tuesday at 11:17 a.m. And so far, so good. Our freshmen will host Marquette here at Flivver Field. Kickoff will be at 5:30 Central Time. The JVs will travel to Marquette for a 5 o'clock Central kickoff. And the varsity will host Marquette here on Friday with a 6 o'clock Central Time kickoff against the Marquette Redmen. So hopefully everything pans out and everything is able to go, and all 3 programs will get to play Marquette. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And I have a couple pretty neat stats just on our podcast and our YouTube channel. We started our podcast on April 8th, 2019. And so far we have had 2,243 listeners. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has listened on the podcast. This is our 61st episode. You can listen to our podcast on any of your podcast catchers. There's Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts are probably the 3 favorites. Our number 1 listened episode was episode 2, which was on April 16th, 2019, and that was a senior spotlight. We had Zach Smith and Dawson Campbell, and it's had 155 listens to that podcast. Now that's audio only. We started our podcast on YouTube on May 20th of 2020, so just this year. And so far we've had 1,170 views. So thank you to everybody who's viewing. We have 34 subscribers. You can really help us out and help other people know about Kingsford Flivver football on YouTube by subscribing, hitting the notification bell, leave us a comment, and then you can also share it on any of your social media platforms. We have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're now on YouTube. We have a blog, which isn't updated as much as it should be. But it's been a lot of fun putting this stuff on YouTube. And so far, our number 1 watched episode is season 20, episode 19, Hey Mom, Where's My Jersey? We've had 154 views on that. And that's where we had Trisha Meneguzzo and Rachel Johnson on, just talking about what it's like to have sons in the program going through Flivver football. So as always, I want to thank everyone for logging in, listening. Again, share, like, find us on all the social media platforms. Until next time, this is Coach Van Duzen. Invest in tomorrow by owning today.